Jeremiah 4 verses 15 through 17 says this. For a voice declareth from Dan, and publisheth affliction from Mount Ephraim. Make ye mention to the nations, behold, publish against Jerusalem that watchers come from a far country, and give out their voice against the cities of Judah. As keepers of a field are they against her round about, because she hath been rebellious against me, saith the Lord. This message is for the hidden prophets of the house of Israel. I know you've been through a lot. Your whole life you have been targeted. There has been multiple cycles in your life of you having to fight similar entities, just in upgraded forms, every 1, 3, 5, and 7 years. You were called to be light in a dark place. You were called to be awake in the darkness. And we know that it is hard to stay awake in darkness. And yet you did it. You are chosen because you chose. You chose to answer the call. You made a choice, and thus you are chosen. And so with that being said, the the overlords of this earth who were here ruling and reigning, the principalities that rule this planet, they're gone. Their energy has been dissipated, and they no longer dwell in this realm anymore. They had to bug out of here. They've been kicked out, dealt with, cut off. And all of those that worked for them are now running around like chickens with their necks cut off because they're trying to figure out A, what's going on, which they kind of already know, and B, what they're going to do now that their gods, little g, are no longer here. They are praying to these gods and they are not answering because they can't. They are literally in the what you would call underworld. So now here we are in a new dispensation of time at the endings and beginnings of an old and new age. And we have been given the task to call things back to order. This message is for those who already have went through their rites of passage, have went through many trials and error, have went within to know thyself and know who they are. Therefore, this message is for those of you who know who you are, and you know who you are. what we are about to do is going to be hard, but it's fair. It's hard, but it's fair because it's time. And we don't have to be afraid anymore of the arrows by day nor the terror by night, because we have help. We have watchers from a far country looking and listening to what's going on. And unbeknownst to a whole lot of bodies, they've been watching, they've been looking, and they've been listening. So, for those who chose to work for certain entities whom they thought would protect them from judgment, it is not our job to judge you. But it is our job to tell you that either you get your stuff together and repent, or you're going to have to deal with the consequences of negative choices. It just is what it is. We are seeing, if we even paying attention just a little bit, we are seeing the fallout of making negative choices. And it does not matter whether you believe in Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, or African spiritual practices, or Native American spiritual practices, or whatever particular genre of religion or spirituality you come from. It really doesn't matter. The simple math is this: do unto others as you would have him do unto you. Treat folk like you want to be treated. Respect people's personal space. Give out that which you want back. It's simple. It's so simple. And yet here we are, still looking at bodies, whether they be in the human form, whether they be in institutions, whether they be in businesses, corporations, government, whether it be in whatever particular form it is. We're still seeing bodies trying to finagle their way through time and space to figure out how not to play fair, basically. We're just not there anymore. It's time to call things back to order. It is time for balance, and we don't have to be afraid to do that. So, we have a long journey ahead of us, and it's going to take a lot of work. Now is not the time for those who want to sit on the sidelines with their popcorn and a big old and cheer folks on. Either you are a part of the solution or you're a part of the problem. It's time to make a decision. But for those who have already gone through and graduated from the school of the hard knocks, if you will, they know who they are and they know their assignment. And we have been given the permission, the authority, and the power to speak to those places that require our attention and that require us to call them back into order. Many of you can probably relate to your own lives and see the number of times in which you got out of order and then God called you back into order quickly because you couldn't do what everybody else was doing. You couldn't be average. You couldn't have the normal human experience like everybody else. You were always different. You were always weird. You were always special. And we are all special in our own way. So, anyway, like I said, we know who we are and we know what we were sent here to do. And for the prophets who have been in hiding for the last year or two, who feel like it may not be safe to come out. I understand, and I understand where you are and where you're coming from. You've dealt with a lot. You have been attacked in numerous ways. And you just don't want that kind of fight anymore. I feel you. But just to let you know, you no longer have to be afraid. Jezebel is dead. And that spirit no longer dwells in our current realm. That spirit is gone. So we can go ahead and get busy, y'all. We can go ahead and do what we came here to do. And I'm gonna be praying for us, and I'm gonna be praying for clarity along our journey. We've been through a lot to get here. And just know that we have a whole lot of help. We have all the tools we need to be successful at our disposal, at our fingertips, and whatever we don't have that we find out we need along the journey, all we have to do is ask for it. This next dispensation of time is not going to be about those getting what they get because they're clever at asking. It's not where we are anymore. That's an old paradigm, and it ain't going to work here. God is not interested in your I'm fintu story. He's just not. This is just, that's just not where we are anymore. All those who used to use that clever little magic to ask for what they want without putting the work in to get it, too bad, so sad. Your time is up. No, it's no longer about what you're asking for. It's about what you've earned. That's just where we are. By the sweat of your brow, you will get it if you put the work in. It's just that simple. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Cause, but I'm not. Because the more I think about it, the funnier it is. Woo! But anyway, um, we're gonna be getting the opportunity to talk a lot, and for the family that we are going to partner with over this next however long it takes, just know that I love you. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate love you in advance, because who is my mother and who is my father? It is those that seek to do the will of the Lord. And so, with that being said, I know that this message will reach those that is for. God bless you. God be with you. And we will see y'all next time.